Okay, day one. Okay, day 170, One Brotherhood. Hillary's hackers. I met with obviously Lee Stranahan of Sputnik. Now used to be a Breitbart, White House press credentials. So hopefully, getting the story to him will get more mainstream pickup. As well as I met and compared notes with Luke Rosiak of the Daily Caller. Thanks for the folks setting that up right now. Faye Turnbull is trying to help me talk to the DC reporter for RT.com. I'm going to meet them. As you know, that there's many locations and homes that the Awans used either for safe houses or for bringing people in, foreign nationals in from Pakistan to do work in the Washington, D.C. area. I went to two of them yesterday. I'll go over those right now. The first one was where the stepmother was held and imprisoned. She's not there anymore. There are renters in that house right now. I wasn't able to get any information. The non-Awan brother who worked also for Congress was not there. There was a rumor that he was living in the basement. The police report was filed on January the 5th of this year, but there's also a complaint that the mother signed that we're trying to get from the police department. That is a detailed complaint about all the things that actually occurred. We want to get some quotes from that. Also want to publish the picture of the person who's supporting her, to let everyone know that this is a woman who was, her husband died, and then she was cheated out of her inheritance by her stepsons. I mean, that's the story here, and we don't know if weapons were used, but in the police report there definitely were listening devices planted around the house. So that's what we know. That was the first visit yesterday. The second visit was over here to the Hawkshead Drive house. This is a little bit further outside of D.C., a little bit more in the suburbs. This is a 5-bedroom home, much bigger home. I did get there about 8 o'clock at night. I was able to talk to the owner. It's a military family, so I don't want to say anything more about their identities, but I'll just say this, that, kind of a Marine right out of Central Casting. I mean, he's a very patriotic guy, and he just wants to do the right thing. And he dealt directly with Imran in doing the lease of the house, and Imran misrepresented himself, used the name Alex, had everything put through his wife, Hina Alvi, and so forth. So very disingenuous dealings. It could be that he believes that Hina's van is still down at the end of the street, so that and it's been moved recently. So he believes that they are still there, or at least Hina is still there. We don't know. Maybe there was a barbecue on Sunday as well. We don't know. But he did say, this is coming from a United States Marine, he did say unequivocally that Imran had left Blackberries, which is interesting. If he is the data expert for Debbie Wasserman Schultz and Hillary, and there was Blackberries left in the home, that would be an interesting find. But also, as I mentioned before, laptops, which there was 4 to 5 laptops in the words of this United States Marine. So he also mentioned the external server, but he said that was not at the home. But he did say that the FBI had made an investigation there, or had made a call there, as well as the Capitol Police, as well as another intelligence agency with the U.S. Armed Forces, which I won't name. So why the reporting on this has not been that the FBI is involved, I don't know. But I believe the FBI and Mr. McCabe should announce that they are involved in the investigation because they are covering that up. So, as I mentioned, they have all these different companies. Today I'm going to try to go here to the Annandale address, so I went to Hina Alvi's address last night, and I'm going to try to go to Natalia Sova. This is one of the wives. This is the Annandale address down at Falcon, on the Falcon Road address. I did not go to the car company yesterday up here in Falls Church, but I plan to do that. There's also, I don't know if anybody remembers the Al-Walaki Mosque in Falls Church, where the 9/11, the first 2 Saudis 9/11 bombers, pilots were recruited. But I'm going to make a visit there in the Falls Church, so that's coming up. Then there's this murder for hire guy down here, a little bit further out in what's called Woodbridge, or near Manassas. I'm near the historic site of Manassas today. Anyway, he was the registered agent on one of the Awan brothers companies. Here he is, Masood. he hires and made a practice of hiring MS-13 Guatemalans to do various dirty work jobs. He had a nickname in the neighborhood of El Senor, the Don. Usually you don't get nicknames like that unless you do things more than once. They killed a car dealer. These two guys were hired to murder a car dealer near Richmond. I'm going to go. He had also had a transportation company called Gold Transportation. I'm going to be going by his house and try to talk to his ex-wife. I'm going to try to talk him into turning himself in if he's there, and we'll that's what's on tap for today. As I mentioned before, the ones used car dealerships as a way at least of taking other dealers' cars and consigning them and then giving them to people coming in and out of their house so that there would be no footprints of people coming in and out of their house. I also believe that since they have a rice company and since they have a pharma company and they were taking rice shipments, which is odd for congressional staffers to be involved in the rice business at the same time, as well as all these other companies. I believe that it is a front for laundering drug money. You come in, you want to buy a car. I say, oh, I'll sell you that Corvette. You give me $50,000. I give you a box of mangoes. And also I write down on a little sheet of paper, Corvette sold, today. And I throw it in I forget the VIN number. I forget the license plate number. The records of the car company that went out of business, which was called Cars International A for CIA, had extremely poor record keeping, much like I just described. So that's why I believe the car companies, the dealerships, are a front. I also believe that the mosques are are kind of in a green card business, trying to get people married off. I believe Masood was in one of these failed marriages to get a green card, and that's why the car dealer in Richmond was murdered. But I'm going to go work the Richmond murder today. I will go to this Lee Valley home as well and find out who this other one is here. I believe, well, I won't say, but I believe that Awan was involved in these other proprietaries for bringing in folks from overseas, getting them visas, logistics companies in Pakistan and so forth. This is more the kind of the seedier side of the Awan brothers business. I talked extensively yesterday about Nanoset Technologies and New Dawn Technologies. I'd still like to interview Dr. Soraya Begum. She's going to be at the center of this. She, of course, is the person who has these contacts to this company in Baltimore, which is all these Pakistani national security experts which work for the Department of Homeland Security. I'd like to talk to her and just what the connection is between someone doing internal medicine for the Maryland, Virginia, to this to space satellite technology and all this national security associations. I don't understand that connection. So again, this would all be easier if we would just have the FBI investigate this case. I have confirmed now with my own, with a witness who has seen the equipment, that these burglaries did occur, and he confirmed, being a United States Marine, the actual government asset tags on the equipment. He confirmed for me that this was government equipment, and he, for the life of him, didn't understand why Imran left that equipment at the home. So again, if Mr. McCabe publishes the metadata, this all becomes very easy to solve, and we can move on and publish the human metadata and publish the Awan server that I believe was confiscated by the FBI, but the FBI is covering up. So again, if he wasn't taking rice orders 16 months apart down in Maryland, I'm going to be visiting that location where he received the rice orders. I'm also going to be looking at these proprietary companies, going and visiting those, and so forth. So that's it for today, and the rest of the reports will be on site.